again, and welcome to another edition of Meet the Press Reports. I'm Chuck Todd. So, is the government hiding what it knows about UFOs? Former military officials believe the government truly is holding something back from the public. So we asked NBC News correspondent Sam Brock to look into what are now called UAPs, or somewhat awkwardly unidentified aerial phenomena. Sam, I know this is kind of a fun piece, but it's kind of serious too.
No doubt, because now there's just so much more visuals that we can sort of hang our hat on, Chuck. And you're right about the fact that UAPs does not exactly roll right off of the tongue, but rest assured, they are on the minds of many Americans. So much so that there have been congressional hearings to talk about them, testimonies from military members describing them, even a federal department now tasked with investigating them. So what have we learned so far? Not as much as we would like, but some scientists say with a little bit more information, we are hot on the trail of a breakthrough.
Renowned scientists like Dr. James Webb at Florida International University remain skeptical.
But you're a scientist, you're an astrophysicist.
Correct.
You're not taking anything for granted.
Have to be proven. The camera can lie to you, as we all know. Until they prove what that really is, and it has to go through a lot of steps. You know exactly how far away it is, exactly how big it is. Tell me exactly how fast it's spinning. How do you know how fast it's spinning? How do you measure its velocity? That's what you need to know if you're a scientist.
Yes, we do have the technology to keep something stationary in the air, is a valid comment. We also have the technology to fly at 0.6 to 0.8 Mach, and we have technology to go over the speed of sound. I'm not aware of technology that allows us to do all three of those at whim in a single platform all day.
As for where we go from here, members of Congress, like Senator Chuck Schumer from New York and Mike Rounds of South Dakota, have introduced legislation to declassify government records related to UAP. With Schumer writing, the American public has a right to learn about technologies of unknown origins, non-human intelligence, and unexplainable phenomena.
Are you planning on holding Washington accountable when it comes to transparency and reporting back what they're finding?
We have to. We have to, because the American people are not going to just trust the conclusions of the government on this conversation. That doesn't mean that we have to spill the beans on our ways and means and our technology capabilities, but the government also doesn't have the right to classify reality.
So how is government doing this?
Well, that's a great question. Look at what prompted this latest wave of interest. Back in 2017, there were leaked videos of these UAPs that were published.
Emphasis on the word leaked. Yeah. Leaked. This wasn't a voluntary thing by the government.
It was not. And all of a sudden, the public absorption, as you would imagine, was enormous. The New York Times is reporting that there was a shadowy program run by the Pentagon looking at these kinds of objects. And so now, fast forward to the last year or so, we've had congressional hearings, as we just covered. And just, this idea that there is an agency formed formally investigating anomalous objects. They are detecting, identifying, and attributing the objects around military installations, and the wording is very important, Chuck, as it relates to national security.
Are they going to share, though, this data with scientists, with astrophysicists, so that essentially they could road test this stuff a little bit? Because, again, going back to the idea of we're not going to trust a government conclusion on this.
And that's part of the problem, because so far they've created this department. What has been shared? We've seen a few videos. Yeah. We have not seen the radar that would help scientists to actually calculate how fast these objects are going. And we're seeing members of both parties in Congress, bipartisan efforts, holding press conferences.
Like this,
This doesn't happen on many subjects, but people all over the political spectrum saying, you need to create more transparency and show us intelligence agencies, show us Pentagon, what information you actually have.